Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico has intensified his rhetoric against Ukraine, accusing President Volodymyr Zelensky of deliberately harming Slovakia and the European Union by halting Russian gas transit through Ukrainian territory. Speaking in Brussels on January 9th, after talks with EU officials, Fico warned of severe retaliatory measures if Kyiv continues with what he called highly political decisions that undermine Slovakia's economic stability.
The decision of President Zelensky, which he made before Christmas, therefore, has nothing to do with common sense. It is a decision that is highly political, and it is a decision that severely damages the Republic of Slovakia, but above all, it severely damages the European Union.
Kyiv terminated Russian gas transit on January 1st, citing its refusal to indirectly fund Moscow's war. The decision has heightened concerns in Bratislava, which depended on the transit route for its gas imports. Fico criticized Zelensky's move, arguing that it endangers not only Slovakia's economy, but also the EU's ability to compete globally.
We have a problem which is called not 500 million in transit payments for Slovakia, but we have a problem which is called further reduction of the European Union's competitiveness in relation to other states we are competing with. And this is a problem. The price of a megawatt hour for the European Union is 50 euros. In the United States, it is less than 10 euros. How do you want to compete? Everyone is talking about the end of the import of Russian gas, and at the same time, European countries are buying Russian-made gas in bulk. The volumes are huge and are getting closer to the volumes coming from the United States of America.
The Slovak Prime Minister unveiled a list of potential countermeasures, including halting humanitarian aid, reducing social benefits for Ukrainian refugees, and ceasing emergency electricity supplies to Ukraine.
I want to make a list of measures that we have available and that we can take. First, we can stop all humanitarian aid, even the aid that was recently approved by the government of the Slovak Republic, where we had on our table a list of refugee services, cargo ships, and other things that were intended to help Ukraine. Of course, this has a more symbolic dimension than a real dimension, but it is a reciprocal response to Ukraine or to the president, who is intentionally harming you.
Fico framed the reduction or abolition of benefits for Ukrainian refugees as a harsh yet necessary response to what he described as Zelensky's harmful policies. The move, he added, carries both economic and symbolic weight, highlighting the growing discord between Slovakia and Ukraine.
The second possibility, ladies and gentlemen, that we have is that the government of the Slovak Republic will decide on a significant reduction or even a complete abolition of the various taxes that the citizens of Ukraine receive on the territory of the Slovak Republic, who came there after the beginning of the war conflict. Yes, some may say that what I am saying is cruel, but it is also cruel what Zelensky is doing to us and to the European Union. It is harmful. It is cruel.
Slovakia's electricity supply to Ukraine was also singled out, with Fico emphasizing its strategic importance and criticizing experts for underestimating Slovakia's role in the region.
Another measure that we have available, ladies and gentlemen, is a measure that concerns the supply of electricity to Ukraine. We have already heard all kinds of statements by experts in Slovakia. They are all wrong, and of course we are the stupidest in the world because we do not know what we are talking about. Slovakia, if I am not mistaken, is probably the only country that is able to supply electricity to Ukraine in 30 minutes.
The Slovak Prime Minister signaled Slovakia's willingness to use its veto power in the EU to block decisions favoring Kyiv, should Zelensky continue policies that harm Slovak and European interests.
If President Zelensky does not mind throwing 800 million euros into the trash, which Ukraine would otherwise get for transporting gas to its territory, and at the same time he stretches his hand like this and asks for another billion from the European Union, then it may happen that some politicians in the European Union go back and say no, because they need unanimity. Therefore, I must note that I must also return to the fact that there is a right to veto, which I could understandably use in the event of a need. I'm not talking about other measures in which Ukraine needs and requires unanimity in relations.
Fico's hardline stance aligns with Hungary's critical approach toward Ukraine's energy policies. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó, in a January 8th Facebook post, condemned a proposed Ukrainian bill to suspend Russian oil and gas transit during martial law, calling it unacceptable. Szijjártó further warned Ukraine about Hungary's ability to influence its EU ambitions, underscoring the unanimity required for new member admissions. In response to the crisis, Fico announced the formation of a working group comprising representatives from Slovakia, Ukraine, and the European Commission. However, efforts have faced delays, with a planned January 7th meeting in Brussels cancelled due to urgent domestic concerns in Ukraine. As tensions mount, Fico's strong criticism of Ukraine's energy strategy and his readiness to wield Slovakia's influence within the EU underscore growing divisions in Europe. For Kyiv, the implications extend beyond economics, threatening its broader geopolitical standing amid an increasingly fragmented European Union.